Angel from Angelic Sounds Holistic and Vocal.com. I'm here to do your reading. I've been doing other things for the last couple of weeks. I do so apologise, but I suddenly realised I have to get a reading of some kind done so that I can, get stuff out into the world again. I haven't done anything for ages and ages, so let's start. Just getting kind of an idea of what this is going to be about. I think we're going to go for a long reading. Oh, there we go. Sorting the sheep for the goats. So sort the sheep for the goats means Labby heat. Right, I know what that means to me. Who's a real yin? Who is real? How do we work out who is real? Okay, so people who do what they say and say what they do, right? And say what they mean and do it. I don't know. Anyway, let's see what we can come up with first. So, the Four of Wands. Nice, stable, solid magic. Now, is this like a coven? No. But it certainly is a sort of a... Now, wands are for fire. And as you can see, I do so love the fire. And this is about, I guess, a stability. A stability of business? No, just a stability internally, being able to actually hold your gifts, your talents, your magic, your everything in a very solid, stable way. Okay, tell me more, Holy Spirit. Nine of Swords. So you've got one side, you've got the Four of Wands. On the other, you've got the Nine of Swords. And she is having a bad day. A very bad day. She's woke up. She's not feeling good. This is the masculine. It's relating to prison. A prison. So... is this the past? Yeah. People who were very magical and very stable with that were imprisoned. Okay? They were left with deep desire. And they were constantly under threat and under fire. They were made to feel weak, even though they were actually very stable and strong. Let's see what the vibes are. So this is the vibes that are past. And as this is sitting beside this sort the sheep for the goats, I'm going to say this was an attempt to steal power from balanced people. I can see it's like party people. This is Gen Xers, man. This is people from the 90s. This is my crowd. People who were quite stable. I'll put that there. Quite fun. Always having a laugh. I can see it's like there's a whole crowd of them. So it was like everyone was in such good spirits. And then there was attack after attack after attack and blah, 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 blah. And it weakened the bond here. It weakened the bond. Okay. gossip started, and it was the shadow side of gossip, thriving on the power of passing on private or secret information and betraying confidences. So if gossip gets injected, and I'm seeing this the same way that they take down any solid movement that is joyful and kind and peace-loving, they do it with gossip, right? They do it with negativity. They do it with putting in suffering and pain, weakening the system, bringing in illness, projecting illness. God, when you think about the Black Panthers and the things they did to the Panthers to like take them apart. Anyway, this is an intentional damaging of bonds of people who were absolute warriors for good. And when you weaken those bonds and imprison the strongest of them with gossip, what comes next? So we've got the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. The Ace of Cups is the opening of the heart. The Ten of Pentacles, I'll just show you that card. I love these cards, they're fabulous. Who is it? I'm going to give her a shout out. Spiritual Court TV. She uses these, and I was like, I want some, they're so cool. See if you even look at the box. Look at the box. It's so amazing. The Pulp Tarot, Todd Alcott. So this guy here, he looks like the man about town. He's getting his heart opened. I also think he looks like he's a thief. He looks like he's the one behind all this, I'm just going to say it, all this bullshit. He looks like he's the one. And then I'm getting drawn to my wee candle here. The truth is, there is nothing that can be destroyed that cannot be remade. That's the spirit of fire getting in there, eh? Nothing that can be destroyed that cannot be remade. This may melt down, it may lose its form, but it can return in a completely different form, with a completely different intention behind it that is more evolved. And that's the beauty of open-hearted work. We continually move forward. Now, here we are here. The bird of peace. Peace was given to those who embraced their shadow aspects, to those who were weak, and to those who just wanted to party no matter what was being said about who. Peace was given to them. And you got him there, sitting there, an older gentleman, a gentleman with a plan. And I'm looking at those pentacles, see those stars, and they look quite just the way they've been scribbled on the wall. It looks like, see when you see one of those houses and they've been broken into and people have been doing all kinds of shady rituals on the walls. You see it? Aye. Excuse me a wee minute. She can leave a message. Now, so where were we? Shady rituals were done and are still being done to maintain the suffering of people who manage to stand up, not give in to their weakness, not just do anything for a party, and not live within their shadow side, but embrace and enlighten their shadow side and be able to use it. Because if you throw people in a sort of an imprisonment where they're surrounded by their shadows, they have no other choice but to make friends with them. And if you are in that position, I advise that you do that, that you work with the shadows that surround you, you enlighten them, you open your heart, and you move forward. We have here priest, visionary, light and light. So we have facilitating spiritual commitment, serves as a channel of spiritual energy, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to to proclaim a vision without regards for personal gain. This was the gift that belongs to these people here who were sort of thrown in this jail of sorts, right? Through this sort of shady work, these gifts, they tried to channel it through the sadness of these people not wanting to embrace their gifts, to be this high priest or this high priestess, to be this visionary. If you are too sunk in the misery, you will not reclaim your gifts. There are so many things. There's what do you call it again? Conditioning. Any family born in a country that has been through a genocide knows the conditioning. It's not any family. Some families did quite well out of it, but they understand the conditioning that comes from grief. You bend the knee, you do as you're told, you take the beating, and then you go home, you beat your wife, you beat your kids, and that's how hereditary curses continue, right? You give up your power to the man, right? The man with the money. Give up your power and you'll be protected. Is it any family? It is. It's any family in a land that has been through genocide. Even those that bent the knee. Yep. However, some people chose to be protected by the thieves that took over these countries. King of Cups. The present. This is a dawning of emotion. This is a man that knows how to use his feelings. And he's got a yacht. I'm actually thinking about, P. Diddy. I'm thinking about P. Diddy. And I'm thinking about all the crazy stuff that went on. This is a misuse of this visionary channeling. So it's not just the money folk, although he was a big money guy, but it's also people who know how to use their emotions, right? And actually those two things go very well together, which is something of note. So let's get our wee Glasgow cards. You're on thin ice. Aye. So these people, the sort of P. Diddy types, Epstein, that's it. Get P. Diddy. Epstein. Right, your Epsteins. You're on thin ice. In the present moment, I think they're aware that they are now in the space of being on thin ice. Now, Four of Pentacles, it's supposed to be stability. And there is a kind of stability. But as you can see, the only stability he's got is he's dug into the ground. That is a kind of a punishment coming up. That is an open space for a punishment. I'm looking, there's a millipede crawling up his neck. So it's like this thing's got legs and he can't move. I'm saying he. This is discussing, can I go into that? Give me more information on that, Spirit. Whoop. Let's take this little bunch here. Ace of Wands. Well, the Ace of Wands is strong magic, right? It's also a stick to be beaten with. And so these people are now, is that right? There are so many people coming after them that they are drowning in the sand, drowning in quicksand, if you will. And the only thing they can do is waggle their money around. Please take my money, take my money. Just take it. Do what you can. Stop them taking back their gifts. Stop them taking back their destinies. Stop them, please. But it's like actually flatlining them financially. They're spending all their money to stop people being sovereign. People they've harmed. People they have gone out of their way to damage. So they've tried to stop people being sovereign. And it's not working. And now, do you know what that reminds me of? That Ace of Wands? You know how that old lottery advert? It's you. Well, it's not them. And it could be that the destiny belonging to these people, now that it is becoming reclaimed, and if you are one of these people that's been very imprisoned unfairly, it's time to call back your gifts. It's time to call back your destiny. It's time to call back your money. And from an open-hearted place. Because the wands say that the gift of transformation, the gifts of transformation, I'm looking at this horse and I'm looking at how it's transforming and melting down. That's it. If you go break a man down, you go build him back up again. But the truth is, if you get broken down, nobody needs to build you back up again. You just build yourself back up again, because that's just how it is. Do you know, I mind in Bristol, there was this guy, and he was working in the cloakroom. It was years and years ago, and he wanted me to like go get him a drink, and I could not find anywhere that I could get a drink for him easily. And I went back to him and I was like, I can't get served at the bar. He's like, that's all right, don't worry, you'll be all right in the end, and if it's not all right, it's not the end. So I managed to get my drink later. I kept the faith. I got him a wee something something, and he put my cloak away for free. So, not my cloak, my coat. Awakens considerations for the feeling of others, honouring trust. So that's gossip. The vibration of gossip, if you start to understand how others feel, you can honour the trust of it. You can actually enlighten the gossip as well. Upholding a cup of an open heart, of open-hearted communication. Capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. Whoop. Heads off. There we go. We'll see how long it burns for though. There's still quite a lot of wax to get through. So this is a wee, just as an example, this would be a very short burning candle, depending on how long it takes to get to the bottom here. Lava heat. Right, short burning candles. Short burning friendships. You have to start knowing who's who. You have to start getting quicker at working out who's for you and who's against you. Who's actually going to protect you. Who's going to hear people talking about you and step in and say, no, fuck that, that person's a good person. That's not right. Who's going to say that? Because if you can't say that, I'm telling you, you're not a good friend. Okay? And they're not, if people aren't doing that for you, they're not a good friend. And if you have been as solid as to avoid the weakness and self-obsession and narcissism of wicked gossip, if you've managed to do that, if you've put yourself through the trials, then you deserve to have people who will talk well of you and who won't let people talk badly about you. That's very important that you know that. There are friendship groups, and I think a lot of us, I'm going to say, a lot of us have been put in situations where we've been surrounded by weakness. Surrounded by people who are not proper friends, who don't speak well of us, who don't recognise our strengths, our kindness, the things that we've done for them. These are all signs that these should be people that you leave behind. Okay. Open-hearted offering of emotion. Yeah. Not in a sort of a manipulative way, but in a, here's my cup, you can fill it. Here's my cup, you can fill it. And protecting each other. Knowing that there is a give and a take. I'm also seeing, if you notice people getting annoyed every time you put your 2 pence worth in, and they're talking consistently without almost breathing, and the second you say something, they kind of freak out, reject it, press it away. You might want to watch those people. And I think, it's not like, it's different shades of grey. Different shades of grey here. Because there's different gradients of protection and loyalty. Not everyone's going to be loyal in the same way, and don't expect them to be. But equally, you can kind of tell by the level of loyalty you're showing how much you can trust them. And that's really important to be able to differentiate. Right. two here. So we'll take this one first. King of Swords. This is a hitman. A mind-controlled hitman. See the wee butterfly, the wee monarch butterfly? This is a monarch. Mind-controlled hitman. May also stand for the grid of monarch, mind control altogether. And I'm seeing that grid. I'm seeing a sword coming down on that grid, like smashing it. People have been under so much mind control. Do you know what? I remember having a dream with this guy in it. That's mad. And he sort of walks in and he's a hitman. He's literally a hitman. And he looks into the room and the room's quite nice and he goes, "That's fucking horrible." But he's really scary, so I wasn't laughing in the dream, but it was only when I woke up and I was like, "Oh, it's fucking horrible." I was laughing my head off. So, yes, this guy here, he's sort of disgruntled with the world, has a very fixed idea of, so and it's coming down on top of all that kind of Epstein Island P. Diddy pile, right? So now they're sending out their executioners, now they're sending out their hitmen. Because these people just won't stay in jail. Why don't you just stay down? Is that too strong, pal? They're too strong. The good thing to know is that they are mind controlled. They're mind controlled. And so if you open the heart of a mind controlled person, they know what they're doing. And this is why open-hearted work is so important, because it puts you in the driving seat. It gives you strength. It gives you the ability to keep moving forward, and actions taken to harm you are moved to the side because you're working in line with the divine plan with an open heart. And so things happen in line with the divine plan. The gifts of the light attributes of the visionary, right? That comes from an open heart, an open voice, and an open mind. If you don't have that, you can't be tapping into the mind body of the multiverse that holds us all together. You can't, because you're coming from an egoic perspective, where you're always looking outside for some kind of mirror explanation for who you are. But if your heart is open, and I'm going to say this, if you're one of these wee executioners that are sent out to damage people who have been damaged by these Epstein types, okay? I'm using Epstein, but like, let's not get it twisted. It's not just happening in America. It isn't. So, if you are one of these people and you start working on getting your heart open and knowing responsibly what you're doing and making amends, you can change your whole life around. You can go to a place of power that does not count on the crew, the gang. You can be a soul, what I heard, a soul trader. A soul trader. Oh, what do you mean soul trader? You mean a soul trader? No. I think they mean it specifically in terms of you are self-employed, working for the divine, right? And what that allows is for you to move to the left, to move to the right, to zig, to zag, to zog, whatever. In all these cases, it gives you the opportunity to move around. You can move around as soon as you've got that open heart, open voice, open mind, connected to the divine, moving forward, nothing stopping you. You're no longer mind controlled. And all these people up here the folk who are at the party, who decided to get in with the get along gang, the get along to get along gang, right? Who probably are engaged in attacking people who shouldn't have been attacked. To this day, you still have a chance to protect yourself by getting your heart open and making amends. There is a way forward in that way. Whoop. The sun. The descendants who had been harmed by these people are now ascending. It's the 8-8 Lion's Gate, and the sun, the children of the sun, are now ascending. And the truth is, this guy and that magic isn't really holding up. If it was going to work, it would have worked by now. With all due respect, poking pins in a wee dolly, making things out of wax, knowing that you can do hoobly-doobly over this person so that they're protected by hell, whatever. They're protected by heaven and hell. Listen, what was it I posted the other day? And it's going to... it wasn't the other day, it was last Halloween. Throw me into hell, darling, I'll make friends. Heaven and hell now stand by them. Both. Because the idea of even that sort of dualistic, dark, light, good, evil, you know, it's... I don't know that it's... I don't know that black and white is really where it's at anymore. I think we're all kind of evolving of a sort. Now, I'm looking at that. There is a binding on that horse moving forward, right? You see how they're on there? And that's regards to this. There is a binding on these people who have been harmed. I'm using my words very carefully because I don't want to get blocked and banned. Who have been harmed by the Epstein types, and you'll know who you are. You'll know who you are. Those people have had their movements limited. So, alchemist. These bindings must be alchemized if you are to move forward. Okay? Going back to Laviheed. Even the friends who turned and went straight for weakness, those who decided that it was better to just get along to get along, and would say anything to get along, those bindings are now going there. And I suggest, as the alchemy is being done on these victims of assault that have been so targeted, that you send them here. Because that's who's responsible. Some people said stuff they didn't know wasn't true. confirmation. Some people engaged in certain beliefs that they didn't know wasn't true, right? That doesn't take away the karma. If you don't know something, you best go ask that person before it comes out your fucking mouth. Yeah, because the karma will lie with you. So anybody who engaged in the torture of these descendants, right? These victims of assault, anyone who engaged in the torture of them, karma is returning in the form of the binds that were upon them. This guy, the money man, now he is responsible, along with the responsibility for the slander that was put on everyone, the lies that were put about these children who were assaulted, right? These people who were assaulted, this guy is now it's not just one guy, there's a few different areas, 5 different areas. But the folk that put the lies around, who knew that the lies were being perpetrated, who knew it wasn't true, they will have their own karma, plus the karma of the flying monkeys they used, who helped them without knowing that this person was lying. So this person will get it times 10 billion. However many were affected through the grids they created, that is the karma that will land on these people. These people will have to deal with the karmic outcomes of what they created for these children. And now the shadow attributes of gossip are going to karmically reflect back to these people. One more card. The journey of these descendants. And I'm looking at the sun and I'm looking at the ancestors as well. The true, bright, great and good, strong ancestors and their descendants. The journey of strength has been standing up amidst the opposition of the absolute wickedness that was thrown around about them. The gift of strength is an open-hearted communication with the Most High, okay? When I say the Most High, I mean the mind body of the multiverse, that which holds us all together. For while these people feel that they are the universe, they're right, they are the universe. You're all the universe. Each one of you is a little universe. Whether you know it or not, whether you're actively working with that or not, you are. But there is a larger mind body that holds us together. And in the healing of that, this journey of strength has been created and protected, almost empowered by going through what they went through. Which is not to say that there's any benefit to be had by the people who tortured them. Not one bit. None. But the truth is, The truth is, sorting the sheep for the goats was invaluable to the journey. It was invaluable to having the strength to know the difference between good and evil, to know the protection of good people, to know how to ask for protection, to know how to draw a line and a boundary, and to know how to go forward and open a road. It has been a long, long road, and there is more to do. The Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords here. And judgment is now awarded to those who have been so harmed. You see, all this chucking people in this sort of self-contained jail, that's what it results in. And so when things start to go wrong, you will know, these people, you know who you are. You will all know that judgment is a sign that you were on the wrong, you made the wrong choice. But you knew you made the wrong choice. You were just going along to get along. The fire is honestly the way forward. Open a road and enlighten your actions, your karma, and know that as you enlighten your karma, the same way that this was the journey of strength for the victims of these people, the victims of your Epstein folk, it will be the journey of strength for anyone who chooses to go on that road. Because you don't remain in jail for long. You dust yourself down. You get yourself together. You might have to fall on your sword. You might have to. But enlightening is not always a wonderful, heartwarming experience. No, enlightenment is truth. The fire of truth. And it's bright. And sometimes it's painful. And sometimes we need to know what we've done so we can stop doing it, so we can change our fortunes. The Knight of Pentacles. Well, this looks like an official person. This is to do with, I didn't go into engineer here. This is engineering, grid engineering, right? These are good cops. I see good cops. Yup, good cops. I'm seeing the enlightenment of that King of Swords that's under there somewhere, where there's monarch mind control. He's not mind controlled. Nuh-uh. He's not mind controlled. He's looking. It might not be cops as such, but this is somebody, it's a knight. So it's somebody that's actively out there checking out what's going on and trying to understand it. Right? Seeing that there. He might not be able to see, but he has two swords, and he can use one of those swords to cut away the blindfold that's covering his eyes. Sort the sheep for the goats. Sir, I'm talking to someone specifically. Sort the sheep for the goats. Know the gradients of good and evil. Don't be so basic. It's not black and white. While there are, yes, a few really, really evil, horrible, nasty witches, there are also women and men who are actively using the gifts that God gave them, to transform this hideous situation. So know that it comes in different gradients. An open-hearted conversation about vampires probably needs to be had. I don't know what that means, but that's for you. And I guess you're going to know who you are. Can we get more of a description? No. It is for 5 people, 5 men that do not know what they're talking about and that need to know, because the outcome here for him can swiftly, and it's not because anybody's forcing it, it's because of the actions that have been created based on a lie. You have to know the difference between shadow and light. And sometimes that's quite a grey area. And that's all right. But if you enlighten everything, if you enlighten all the information as it comes forward, you will know what to do. I'm seeing that horse's head and the candle there. See how it's fell? 2 things. One is this looks like a wing. But this is the first thing I saw, a horse's head. Do you know how in, is it The Godfather? And they put a horse's head in someone's bed. So this is gangsters as well. One of these knights is a gangster. You have to know who you're bullying. If you don't know, going forward, the protection will be removed from you. You have to know what's going on. And you'll know if things are going awry, if you just can't get shit happening. If there's one thing after another, you're probably on the wrong side. You're probably not helping the right people, and you might be actually working against your ancestors. You know, this is the kind of thing that gets you cut from a line. You got to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. You won't lose power because you're doing the right thing. But an ancestor can step in and move things around to protect their descendants that they want to see win. You know? Going to hear this curvature. Let me see. So I'm going to hold that up and I'm going to move that around. So this is how I like to divine the wax. Let me see. There is a strength here. There is a lifting of weights. Spiritual weightlifting. Everything you go through, once you get up, you are no longer in jail. Once you come from a place of strength, you are no longer in jail. Not outer strength, not the strength of being in a get-along gang, the go-along to get-along gang, the internal strength. That creates a sort of, can you see it there? It looks like a little flex of the muscle. Yeah. Anything else? Yep. It's another horse. You never really lose anything. See that? See the wee face coming round? I don't know if you can see that. It's a wee horse floating round behind it. things just change shape, they change form. And where one thing becomes collapsed and destroyed in that meltdown, it becomes something else. And so if you're constantly in the state of alchemy and transforming and pioneering, it is a sacrifice worth making, because what is old needs to become something new. So you're constantly transforming, you're constantly moving. And I just heard the go along to get along gang. If you make amends, and I mean across the board, if you make amends, things will change for the better. But you too will have to sort the sheep for the goats. People who were harmed are no longer the go along to get along gang. They're carving their own path, they're finding their own moment. And they have a lot more strength than the go along to get along gang, because they've all been relying on each other. The wank circle I just heard. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's really great. Oh, that's so good. Is it though? Is it really? Is it so good and so great? Really? Is it? Is it really? Or are y'all just patting each other on the back so you can stay friends? Yep. Is that a horse it's turned into? It's kind of got a long neck. Maybe it's a giraffe. Whoop! Stick it back up there. Looks a wee bit like a giraffe. Looks a wee bit like a dinosaur. A wee bit too. Interesting. Anyway, justice is the final card I'm going to pull. Justice is coming, and justice has been handed to the strong, those who have proven their spiritual mettle, those who have been through the 9 of Swords and come out the other side. Not just the outcome of justice, but the ability to speak justice where it needs to be spoken. The sacrifice has been made, and the benefit has been justice. Now, protect yourself going forward. Act right. What is it my uncle says? My uncle Desi always goes, be good. So be good, and if you can't be good, be careful. The strength of the journey is the warrior that knows how to go forward with an open heart. If you'd like another reading, you can check it out on the divination page of angelicsounsholisticandvocal.com. And if you've come this far, please go and hit like and share and subscribe and whatever, and do all the things and hit the wee love hearts and save it and whatever else. Yeah, and if you'd like to have a wee candle like this, where you can kind of use it for your workings, use it for your readings, use it for your divinations. This wasn't so much well, it was kind of used to amplify my reading, but you can use them for so many different reasons. If you if you're wanting one, you can head straight to Firebird Sanctuary. Works on angelicsounsholisticandvocal.com, and I have a whole bunch of different candles and ones that we can actually work with you in order for you to get the right kind of ritual. As you know, we only work with tools of light. We're not doing malevolent spell work at all. You can, I mean, I don't really have control of what you do with your candles, but the outcome might not be so great if you're using it in a malevolent manner. Might not be so great for you. I mean, not for your target. Just nothing might happen because they're not built to that voltage. Is that worth talking about? Aye, let's just talk about that a minute. If you imagine like a travel plug, right? Say you go to Thailand and you try to plug in a British plug, you're not going to be able to do it because the Thai plugs are much smaller, right? Apart from anything else, it's wrong shape, wrong size, wrong everything, right? These are built to a voltage of people that work with love and enlightenment. Not love and light, love, the power of love and the power of enlightenment, which is the highest wisdom. And it's the two hand in hand, like Shiva and Shakti, and we work with those energies in their purest form. If you're not working like that, it might not be the shop for you, and that's okay, because there's hundreds of other shops for you to go and get your supplies or whatever. But these specific candles are made for people who work and manifest and heal with an open heart. So I'll leave it at that. If you'd like to go check it out, I'll pop some links in the bio, and honestly have just a wonderful, open-hearted, communicative day where you protect everybody that you see that is high-vibing warriors of world peace. Alright, I'll see you later on. You take care. Bye-bye.